And we're live.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 74. 74, right? Of the Tiki Taka podcast. I'm your host, Peter. And today I'm joined by Cynthia,
Hello.
Steph.
O que passou-se? O que passou-se?
I had a brain fart, but that's all right. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And special guest, Bruno.
O que se passou também. Oh, listen, I wanna say everything. I wanna say to everybody, hello from Russia with love.
I appreciate
Bruno,
it.
I'm not inviting you back.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Don't worry about it. You'll get your comeuppance in 2 weeks. Don't worry about it.
Babushka.
Friday,
Das
December
buscas, boy,
1st.
das buscas.
Nah, just wait until Friday, December 1st, and then we'll talk. Oh yeah, don't forget about that. All right, but let's get into it because we got a lot to talk about. Steph, you're sporting one this weekend against
Famalicão.
Famalicão. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to give out the lineup and your opinion on the game?
Yes. So let me pull up the lineup really fast. I had the Champions League lineup, so I don't want to give that one yet.
Amateur.
Yeah, I know. So it's not coming up for me.
Are you serious? You want me?
Was there a São Patricio involved?
So for some reason, it's not coming up for me on the site I use all the time.
Oh wow!
Do you have it?
Down. I would have to let me search it. I'll do it faster than probably. Sporting.
Yeah, you got me good. I was locked into the Champions League.
You completely forgot about the Taca game. You're like, what is this? A Taca?
No, we won against Famalicão 2-0. I mean,
you all right? I got the
Yeah.
lineup. You want the lineup?
no, just say it. I mean, you want the lineup? You want me to repeat after you? Just say it.
No, I'm just saying. Yeah.
Please
no, you want me
repeat
to say-
after him.
Hi, Rui Patricio in goal. There you go. Coates played. Tobias Figueiredo played. Ristovski, Jonathan Silva, Bruno Fernandes, Petrovic, Gelson, Bruno César, Mateus, Bas Dost, Podense and Bataglia. There you go. That's a weird ass lineup, but it's a lineup.
Yeah, I mean, até custou a dizer com caralho.
I know, right?
Yeah,
Struggling.
but yeah, the game itself, Sporting dominated, from the get go. But Famalicão, I was very surprised. They a very well organized team, and they play a low block counter attack, and they play tough, man. I mean, we only scored at minute 65, and by Coates, and minute 81 by Dost. But until then, Famalicão was right there, and Rui Patricio pulled up some great saves again. But we won, and that was the most important thing. It was to win against a second division team, Famalicão. So, and today we found out about our next opponent, which will be Vila Verdense from the Campeonato de Portugal. So even
Come
better,
on, man.
and at home, bro. So that was
Of course,
really-
we're the only ones to go away to Village Club.
Yeah, Vila Conde today. It's a nice city to visit. So the Bifikisa players will have a good time visiting Vila Conde.
Yeah, I'm
We
sure.
could be tourists.
But coming back to the Sporting Famalicão, there's nothing really much to say. We won the game 2-0 fair and square. It could have been more. Could have been 4-1 or 4-2 because Famalicão did create some chances. But other than that, we.
All right. Do you mind if I
in
do you
danger?
mind if I go a little bit of a controversy here? Just add a little bit of it.
Of course you do, Peter Pan.
Of course.
Not related to the actual game played, but I heard that Famalicão's president wanted the game to be on the weekend, but Sporting refused. What do you think that was in Sporting's mind? Because they played on Thursday, which was the earliest one of the big three played, and they played today on Wednesday. So they had a lot of days to recover. Would it really make a big difference for them to play on a Saturday and not on a Thursday?
Oh
Because
yeah, of course.
because I mean, when the president of the club asks you, so they can bring more people into the stadium, and Sporting refuse,
But is that
it
why?
feels
Was it
kind of
for? It was
feels
just
kind
for
of shitty.
attendance.
No,
Yeah, they'll.
Sporting didn't refuse. Everybody has to agree on a date. It's not up to Sporting. It's not up to Famalicão. It's up to all three: Sporting, Famalicão, and Federação e a Liga. They will decide on a date, and I guess the vast majority decided for Thursday. But Famalicão, I understand what they wanted to do, but they still brought, I think, 1,000 fans into José Alvalade, which that's a lot for a second division team.
Yeah, that was on a
Yeah.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Imagine how it would have been on a Friday, though. I mean, it feels kind of weird, Joe. Just wanted to point that out because, at least if not one of the parties refused, then, the Liga refused, which I think is kind of stupid given the fact that Sporting will still have a lot of time to recover. And if anyone, Porto should have played on a Thursday, in my opinion.
Listen, the reason why Sporting wanted to play, we had seven players with injuries, and a couple more days would make all the difference, like it did today. Today we had Mathieu that came back, Williams that came back, and Piccini that came back, and those couple days made all the difference. So that's how Sporting was thinking about. And I understand about Famalicão. If they were playing at home, I would be more sympathetic. But playing away, I mean, you had 1,000 fans going. Maybe you would have had maybe a couple more fans going. But that's the main reason why Sporting wanted to play on Thursday. And then who played on Friday? It was Porto, am I right?
Porto.
Porto played on Friday, and Benfica played on Saturday. But each team, they managed the way they want, and the reason why Sporting did that is because we've had a lot of injuries.
All right, fine. I'll let it slide. I still find it weird, but that's okay. It is what it is, though. All right, you guys move on. Like you said, you guys play Vila Verde next at home because it's Sporting. I'm just messing with you. But you also played today, and you managed to beat Olympiacos by 3-1. How about that game?
Well, that game, actually, hey Bruno, you gotta mute your mic, bro.
Dale.
No, you gotta mute your mic.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll get it.
Always, caralho.
Calm down.
Oh,
It's driving.
It's gonna be a little hard because I'm driving.
I know you're
Siri,
telling me.
mute the mic.
We're gonna hear some road rage in a sec.
Nah.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine?
All right. Back on track. Steph, you don't have a lot of time, so.
Okay, so let's go talk about my Sporting today. We won 3-1 against Olympiacos. We played at home, and then the lineup, which I do have this lineup.
Good.
It was Rui Patricio at goalie. Then we had Piccini back from a long time injury. He missed a few games. Then we had Andre Pinto as a center back with Mathieu. Left back we had Fabio Coentrão. Then in the middle we had Betaglia as number 6, number 8 William Carvalho. We had Gelson Martins, Bruno Fernandes, Bruno César, and Bas Dost. So from the very beginning, it was a tough game because Olympiacos was playing a low block. But then up to minute 20, the game was pretty even. Then Sporting took control of the game. Right before the halftime, we scored at minute 40 with Bas Dost, and then Bruno César at minute 43, he made it 2-0. Then in the second half, we just controlled the game. We paced it because we were in full control of it, and then at minute 66, Bas Dost made it 3-0. Then towards the end of the game, Olympiacos made it 3-1. But Sporting was always in control. I never felt that Olympiacos was a real threat. So we played well, and we guaranteed the third place, which is a place in the Liga Europa, which is great. and we still have a possibility to go beyond the group stage, which I know it'll be extremely difficult because playing in Camp Nou, it's a very difficult game against Barcelona. And Juventus plays against Olympiacos, so we're depending on Olympiacos to at least tie with Juventus, and we have to win against Barcelona. So it's a lot of ifs, ifs, ifs. But at least we guarantee the Liga Europa. So I'm extremely happy with my Sporting today. And the only thing I'm hoping is that when the weekend comes, when we play against Paços Ferreira, that we win against them, and we're not going to be like today. It was a great team, and then against Paços Ferreira, it'll be a shitty team. I don't want that. I want consistency.
I want that.
I know you
I
do.
want that too.
I want that from Benfica too. So.
Steph, I was watching the game, and I just have like, you said that you were never like scared that the game would, go Olympiacos' way, but I do think that if Bruno says it doesn't make it 2-0, like right after you guys make it 1-0, it could have been a closer game because Olympiacos, of course, isn't the greatest team in the world, but with a counter or in some luck, they could snatch a 1-1 tie, because Sporting was in control, yes, but when they got such fast players going forward, they had Carcela, they had Seba at one point, they had Pardo, if Sporting doesn't make it 2-0 right after getting the first goal, I don't think it's as easy as it went.
Well, but that's why I said it was as easy as it was because we scored 3 minutes later. So, that's why I'm saying that. But yes, I agree with you. If the game was only 1-0, then Olympiacos would have regrouped in the halftime. And then in the second half, they would have come out a lot stronger. But it wasn't the case. So after the 2-0 halftime, Jesus basically told his players, just take it easy, play the game for the game, and just don't force it because we have a passphrase, always a difficult game away. So, and that's what they did. They controlled the ball, they paced the game, they controlled it, and then they scored the third one even better. And so that's why I said what I said. I never felt that Olympiacos was a real threat, exception for the first 20 minutes. The first 20 minutes, yes, they kept me on my toes.
All right. I don't know if anybody wants to weigh in on the game besides Steph. Already shared kind of my opinion on it. I agree with you, but I also think if the game goes a little bit differently, it could have ended in a tie. But Sporting rightfully deserved the win. I don't know if anybody else wants to say anything about the game.
They deserve the win.
They did?
Yeah, they did.
All right. So I guess that's enough, people. Just to
Thank
say
you,
yes.
thank you, Benfiquistas. I like when I hear that from Benfiquistas. Thank
No
you.
problem. Steph, I don't know
Do you
if you
think
want
we can steal Bajdost from you?
No.
No,
Please
too
don't.
late. I don't.
No.
What?
It's too late, eh?
What would be the swap?
No
I
one.
didn't say swap. I said I'm stealing them. Listen to my
Don't
words there,
steal
bud.
them. Don't steal
Steph,
them.
I have a suggestion. Bastos pro Capela, o João Freira. Queres esse?
Look at here.
Estes é que são
Very funny.
bons.
Very funny guy.
Estes é que
Let's not
são
even talk about the
bons.
fruta. No, not even the fruta. Oh wait,
No,
the
it's
Capella that robbed us last week with 2 penalties against
Roubar?
in our favor. Yeah,
Nós já
we
vamos
had
falar
2
disso.
penalties. 2
Dois,
penalties.
eu vi 5.
Two.
Eu vi 5.
Yeah.
Only 5?
Só 5. Podia ser mais.
Let's not even talk about Suarez Diaz and that second yellow card. Jesus. But anyway,
Who
I
invited
digress.
Bruno? What is happening?
I digress. Steph, you want to talk about your game against Paços? Give us a small preview because we normally, talk about the games and give the predictions at the end. But since you got to go in a little bit, I don't know if you want to do that now.
Yeah, of course. So Paços Ferreira, it's always a very difficult team when we play them away. They actually now in the 12th place. They have only 12 points. But that doesn't mean shit. Every time a big team, it's not only Sporting, Porto, Benfica, and I'll include Braga because Braga they've been playing well. Every time they go to Paços Ferreira, they always give Sporting a hard time. So I'm expecting Jesus to tell his players engage in the game at 100%. These guys are not going to be easy. Play and then we'll win. But if we go and play at 80% and make believe it's not a serious game, we're going to lose for sure. So I'm predicting a very hard game against Passo Ferreira. They have a smaller field, a smaller pitch as well. The fans, they're more on top of the pitch, so you can feel the support of the fans as well. It's a small stadium, but you can see the fans supporting them. So it's going to be a tough game, and my prediction will be Sporting like winning at 1-0 or 2-1. It's not going to be an easy game.
All right, mine's a 2-0 for Sporting.
Epa, cuidado.
I'm not confident in Paz. That's just the thing.
That's just mean. They're small but mighty, Peter. Come on.
No, they had an okay coach that got fired, rightfully so, after losing like 6-0 to Porto or something like that. And I don't even know who their coach is right now. Like, is it Petit?
Petit.
Wait, didn't they say? Oh, right. So 1-1. Never mind. 1-1. I'll go with
There you
1-1.
go. I was going to say 1-1. What are you doing?
I forgot about Petit, man. I forgot about Petit. Petit always seems to steal points from Sporting, which is kind of funny. But yeah, 1-1. I don't know about.
Will they let
you.
him play if it gets rough?
Yeah. Of course they will.
Sub me on. I know I'm the coach. Sub me in.
He's gonna he injects himself into the game. That's how good he is.
I love him. No, he's fantastic.
All right, Bruno, what do you say for Sporting?
At Passo Ferreira, in a week in which it's right before Clásico, I'm gonna say 2-2.
Yeah, what a goals.
Big numbers. Epa.
Yeah.
That'll be entertaining if that's what it is.
Yeah, hopefully. Like, Paz snatches that 2-2 draw at like the 90th something minute. That would be really.
They pull a Sporting.
Hey, listen, I wouldn't be surprised if Sporting plays the way they played today, they'll win the game. If they're going to go over there and say, "Hey, I'll pass Fred, they're going to lose the game. It's that simple.
Yeah. No, you're right.
You got to give it all against these small teams. These small teams, these players.
They're small but mighty.
Especially against certain managers, man. Certain managers seem to just have the number of the team, and I swear I'll go ahead and get these numbers from all his teams. And Sporting, I don't think won more than 2 games against them. So,
and the thing is, don't forget that these players, they want to show themselves to Sporting, Benfica, and Porto, and so we can buy them.
Big paychecks.
An opportunity to turn the season around too. Like say, hey, we got this tie against Sporting, now we can go on a winning streak or something. Yeah, so it could be
Sporting needs a left back because Jonathan Silva got hurt and he's gone for 3 months. He's done. So then the left back from Passo Ferreira, he's got everything to gain to show Sporting Jorge Jesus is a good player. So Jorge Jesus might say, hey, the left back from Passo Ferreira is pretty good, so let's buy him. And if Sporting says, hey, Passo Ferreira will give you $2 million for your left back, they'll sell him because $2 million for Passo Ferreira, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
Do you want me to take you to the airport, bro?
Exactly. Bye.
Yeah, no, you got a good point. Steph. So it's gonna be tough for Sporting.
Yeah.
All right.
That's Sunday, yeah?
I believe it's 6, yeah.
Yes, it's on Sunday. Yes, correct.
Yep.
They play at 6, which is 1 year time.
Yes.
1 p.m.
When we play Wednesdays, or when Benfica or Porto plays on Wednesday for the Champions League, usually they play on Sunday.
Unfortunately, we couldn't be at the freaking 6 p.m. slot. We had to be at 8:15. God damn you!
Not everybody watches NFL. Calm yourself. Jeez.
I'm just saying, sucks.
You like the NFL? Which team do you like?
Don't get him started. Oh no.
No.
Seahawks, and they play at 9:05, so 4, which is 4:05 for you. So the game starts when the second half is almost starting. So it kind of sucks that I have to watch both games at the same time.
Steph, já reparaste o gajo gosta de uma equipa que joga azul e verde? Já viste?
I know.
Já viste?
I know.
Ele tem bom gosto. Tem bom gosto.
I know. When I saw the kids. And I'm like, this is blue, but I mean, come on. And I actually got an action green jersey, so
my God.
I know
what
it's
are
weird.
You doing?
It feels weird. It feels weird wearing it, but moving on to better things, please. Not better things, because we're moving on to Porto, but still.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Better things. Falaste bem, fala bem, pá.
Not really.
Ovla, só mais uma coisa do Sporting. The player of the match for me was André Pinto. That's it.
Hoje? Hoje?
Yeah, today.
Hoje.
Então quando, caralho?
Podia ser na quinta-feira.
Em quê? Contra o Famalicão? Contra o
Yeah.
Sim,
Famalicão?
podia
He
ser.
didn't play. Didn't even play. He didn't even play. So
Epá, não sei se o gajo jogou, não jogou. O gajo
It's not his team. He's just making
He's
comments.
just he's
You're talking out your
always
ass, Bruno.
trolling.
Jeez.
Always trolling. Oh Jesus.
Pá, isto é assim, já sabes como é que é. Tudo complicado.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyway,
With the Portista, everything's complicado.
É, tá sempre a cagar no anzol, sempre.
Exactly.
unbelievable.
All right, you're moving on to Porto.
You sure?
Yeah, we're moving on. Oh, God.
right,
Bruno's
all
time
right.
to shine.
That was.
So tell me about Porto, Bruno.
Esse é o maior.
Jesus.
É o melhor. Não é o maior. Eu não quero ser o maior, eu quero ser o melhor. É o melhor.
All right. I was actually trying to go to watch this game, but my friends were dicks and they were like, "Nah, I ain't watching this. So I'm watching it." So yeah, I didn't go to this game. I was hoping to, but whatever. My friends are dicks. Anyway, so Porto played Portimonense, as y'all know. They won 3-2 on a very difficult game that they were losing at one point. Anyway, let me give you the Porto lineup since Bruno's driving. So it's not
He might know it
safe
off
to-
the top of his head.
No, I know Casillas started. I think it was right back was what? Ricardo Pereira, right?
Yeah.
Then Felipe Marcano, Alex Telles, Danilo, Oliver Torres, Herrera.
No. It's Andre. It's close.
Andre. Oh, that's right. Herrera was hurt. Andre, and then on the right, I can't even remember. Was it Corona?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a beer.
Abubakar was up top, and I can't remember on the left. The left, I don't even remember.
Starts with an H.
Hernani, pois, Hernani.
Hernani.
Hernani. There you go. That was Porto's lineup. I only caught on to the last 10 minutes, so I'm just going to comment on those final 10 minutes after you share your thoughts on the game, Bruno. What did you think of Porto's performance?
First half, we scored early, 4 minutes in, I think it was. We scored 4 minutes in. And, everything looked calm. And then they kind of started falling asleep. Listen, Portimonense is one of the best counterattacking teams in the country, if not the best, because that guy Nakajima, he's a very good player, and he makes a lot of noise. And I've talked to Steph about this game and other people about this game myself, and a lot of people are blaming the referee. Don't blame the referee. What you should be blaming is, number one, the head coach, because I watch soccer first. The head coach is probably the biggest. He had a big target, but you also got to blame the players because the players made a lot of mental mistakes in the wrong times. And they had one thing that was working for them, which is the counterattack. They had Nagajima ripping Porto apart every time he got the ball. They just didn't use him enough. They didn't counter enough. And at the end of the day, they lost the game.
Still, they got 4 goals in total at the Dragão, man. Not a lot of teams do that. They're feisty. They're difficult to play against. I don't know. Do we want to get into the Suarez Diaz thing? I don't know, Steph. What do you say?
I knew you'd go towards me.
Of course, you're my man, bro.
Of course, I'm going to talk about it. But I'm going to be completely honest. But like Bruno said, we had this conversation a couple days ago. We call each other almost every day. So,
Oh, you guys are BFFs.
Não é nada assim. São duas putas finas. Não te preocupes, pá.
I want to try to make things cute, and then this guy goes ahead and mentions bitches. That's amazing.
Hey, listen.
I know.
I even buy lingerie and everything. Anyway.
Oh, my Lord.
That's TMI.
My eyes.
TMI.
Tu creias, mas não há hipótese.
Tu querias batatinha com enguias e eu cagava e tu comias.
Hey, Jesus, I haven't listened to that in forever, bro. Oh, Jesus.
Okay, so...
That's an oldie.
Minute 78, okay, when Felipe Macedo got the second yellow card and then the red card. Um, Basically, he did put his elbow against the Porto player, and I think it was Danilo, and that's why he got the yellow card. But then we have the luxury from home to look at the replay, and you could see that he didn't even really use the elbow to go against his face. It was just to gain advantage of the play. So I think Suarez kind of he was too rough in showing the yellow card. I don't think he deserved the yellow card. But you know what? When you lift up your elbow and you put it against a player's face, that's the por jeito.
Right. But I mean, it's a play that happens like 90% of the times in football.
Got it.
And you don't see everybody gets enough for that.
Got it. So it was one of those plays that it was a 50-50 play. He could have gotten a yellow card, and if it was another referee, you wouldn't have showed the yellow card because it was the crucial portion of the game. At that time, Porto was still losing, and then that changed the whole game. The dynamic of the game totally changed when Portimonense was left with 10. Did Porto needed that? No, they didn't need that. But Suarez Diaz, he kind of did Porto a big favor by showing him a second yellow card, and Portimonense was exhausted and without one player playing with 10. Then Porto had the advantage, and that's how they won. But again, he showed the yellow card. If it was like an English referee, I don't think he would have shown the yellow card. But the Portuguese referees, they love to be part of the attention. They want to be on the spotlight all the fucking time for some reason.
They're going on strike for what you're saying right now. Watch yourself.
Yeah. Well, I don't care. They can go on strike all they want. The second division, referees, as good as category, they'll do a better job. But anyway, that's the only play that I didn't like because I would want to see how Porto would react playing 11 against 11. So to my Portista friend Bruno, it sucks that he did you guys a favor. It really sucks.
Que grande favor.
Senão vocês não iam ganhar, cara.
I mean, you guys weren't going to ganhar.
Listen, you don't know that. You don't know that because Portimonense at that time, again, I keep on saying it, they had the counterattack working. They were defending too much.
One thing's defending with 11 men, another thing's defending with 10, though.
I thought you know who you should be getting angry at? It shouldn't be through Suarez Diaz. You should be mad at a guy like Felipe Macedo, who has a yellow card. He's a professional player. He knows what he should and should not do. He stuck an elbow, like Steph said, pôs a jeito. Ele pôs a jeito, olha, levou com o segundo amarelo, and that's it. Foi para a rua. E acabou.
Mas foi amarelo forçado, mais nada.
No, he stopped the counterattack. A counterattack, it could have. It is a yellow card.
I know. He was not the last man, though. He was not the last man.
Last man is a red card. This is a yellow card. He stopped.
I know, but like Peter said, how many elbows do we see every game? So every game we're going to see like 20 elbows.
Então nos jogos do Carnida é sempre.
A gente está a falar de Porto agora, tem calma.
Tá bem, tá bom.
Estávamos falando do Benfica daqui a bocadinho. Hold your horses, bro.
Só estou a fazer uma comparação.
Comparison. Como o meu pai diz, comparison.
What is that Portuguese?
Yeah, what is he trying to say?
É uma comparação.
Eu estava a tentar dizer comparação, mas em inglês, comparison.
Comparison. That reminds me of my friends when you're like in middle school and they don't know how to speak English, so they just kind of try and mix it together and hope it sticks, and
Yeah,
get craziest stuff.
Yeah, às vezes cola. But anyway, that was the only play I didn't like. I thought that, o Felipe Macedo pôs a jeito, I agree with you, Bruno, but if Suarez didn't show him the yellow card, it would be interesting because Felipe Macedo was playing in the midfield. So that left a big hole in Portimonense's midfield, and they were never the same without him. So it would have been interesting if they played 11 against 11 till the end. But you know what? Hey, a sorte protege os burros. I mean, os inocentes.
E os grandes.
Yeah.
Não te esqueças, a sorte protege os grandes. Listen, did Porto play terrible? I wouldn't classify it was terrible. Did Porto play, could they have played a lot better? Yeah, I mean, there was a couple of guys that they got their chances, they didn't they didn't do enough, in my opinion. A guy like
Correct. They
Oliver Torres.
they should have done enough though, right? I mean, do you agree with that though? Because you're playing against
Should they have done enough?
and
Yeah.
you guys played with a strong lineup, so there wasn't really a lot of excuses to be down to 185, 86, 87 minutes in, till you guys got the.
No, I agree that they should have done a little more. But they didn't, and there's a couple of guys that you get angry with, like Oliver Torres or Hernani. They want opportunities, they get these opportunities, and they don't do enough with it. And that's the thing that drives me crazy about some of these guys, because they want to play more, but then they don't show that they deserve deserve a chance. And at the end of the day, they lose an opportunity to do something about it.
Right.
You understand? And they only have themselves to blame, because this is their opportunity to do something, and they just don't get the job done. You don't get the job done, you don't deserve to play. End of story.
Okay, just really fast. Just to give you a summary, Felipe Macedo was shown the yellow card and thrown out at minute 78. You guys scored the tying goal at minute 91. And then for some reason, I don't know if he had Vin Duport on the halftime, but he gave you 7 minutes. I don't know why.
I don't know how.
Well, I'll answer that. I'll answer that. I can answer that if you'd like. I can answer that if you'd like.
I know you are. You're gonna answer. You're gonna say because they were burning time and substitutions and all that shit, but not 7 minutes, bro. Not 7 minutes. Never.
Listen, para já, the 7.
E vocês marcaram o último gol ao minuto 96.
And then there was no more football, right? No more football to play.
That's it. And
that's
then
the most annoying thing.
He didn't even wait for a minute 97. He stopped the game, by the way.
That was like 2 minutes of celebration, by the way, because I was looking at the clock. And I know the coaches, the referees always do that, which is weird. And this goes for Benfica too, because I've noticed it. And it's just kind of ridiculous. So if you give this amount of time, just because the team got what's supposedly the winning goal, you still should give the time that you have left, right? Because it's that's stupid. That's stupid.
And isn't Soares Portista? Isn't he from Porto?
Não sei se é portista ou não, tens de me perguntar.
I don't know if he's a portista or not.
Olha, mas ele fez ficar uma ajuda do caralho, meu. Foda-se. Está calado.
Ele já tem ajudado vários clubes.
Especially those in green and blue.
Olha.
No, in red. Because
Sure. Yeah, you go ahead and check the stats. So it's Soares Dias.
Eu já ouvi dizer
refereeing Benfica, Porto, and Benfica Sporting, and you see how many times Benfica wins those games. You check that out.
Listen, I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if you know. You got to go back to your statistics, because I know os cadeirenses esquecem-se de muita coisa. Devem comer muito queijo, I don't know. But one thing's for sure. This year, ele já apitou o Benfica e já tiveram só este ano, eu acho que já são 5 jogos em que o Benfica joga 6 minutos de desconto e com 7. Sabes qual foi o árbitro?
Do I have anything to say about those added times? They're probably ridiculous.
Hold on. And there's one that you had 7 minutes, and you know who gave you those 7 minutes?
I don't even remember.
Arthur Soares Dias. É tão portista.
Listen, he's a guy that blindly saw Ismailov grabbing Luizão's jersey right in front of his face. He saw Mangala handball right in front of him. He was a clear handball with his arms wide open, and he called the corner for Benfica. That guy, last year, 3 penalties or 2 and 1 debatable penalty against, that should have been called in Benfica's favor against Sporting, and they weren't called. Listen, I'm not going to get too much in Soares Dias, but the stats are there. I don't care about the games played against other teams. Against Benfica against Porto and Benfica against Sporting, Soares Dias refereeing are the most difficult games for Benfica to win. That's all I'm going to say. Plus, I don't think he's a bad referee. I do think that once he makes a mistake, he gets completely crazy and cannot get the control of the game ever again.
Hold on a second. You mentioned the Benfica Porto and the Benfica Sporting game. You do forget. Yeah, I know. There's one in particular that I clearly remember. He robbed Porto one, which is the day after Eusebio died. That game,
No,
uma
yeah,
roubalheira.
the Mangala
Roubo, o maior roubo que houve no Estado da Luz até hoje.
Yeah, the Mangala handball. They
Sim,
went to a corner and then Garay scored.
Hey guys, I'm gonna cut both of you. Okay, listen. So Bruno, basically, what he's saying is because of Suarez, he has helped Benfica in the past. It was time to pay his dues and help Porto against Portimonense. Bottom line.
Apparently.
There it is.
Ei, que grande resultado.
That's what I'm getting from your chat.
Vocês não mereceram ganhar com o Portimonense, meu.
Ok, pronto, está bem.
Ganharam
nunca vai. Listen, I've been watching soccer for 30-something years, and the one thing I gotta say, quando o Porto até ganha 5-0, também não merece ganhar. É sempre a mesma coisa.
That's bullshit. That's the bullshit excuse everybody gives you. Sometimes there are games that you win and you shouldn't win.
11 contra 11, vocês não ganhavam, meu. 11 contra 11, vocês não ganhavam, period.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll never know.
You'll never know.
We'll never know. Because did you guys a favor? We'll never know.
I'm with Steph on this one. And I got no problem with saying when Benfica win and they don't deserve to win. I've come out on the podcast and said that several times. So what you're trying to say is that Porto, when they win 5-0, it's still undeserved. No, I mean, that's bullshit. That's a bullshit excuse. Like, you guys played for 80 minutes. Yeah, you guys played 80. Actually, you guys played 90 minutes and didn't do shit to win the game, and in 5 minutes you guys scored 2 goals.
Because
you know who you gotta blame?
Playing with 10.
But you know you gotta blame for that, Peter? I'm gonna tell you, you gotta blame. You gotta blame Portimonense if you can't.
One of the goals, sure, but not on another one. On one of them, sure.
No, you have to blame Portimonense. I mean, even if you go down a man, you could have to blame the coach. You should have put in another defender and drop a couple of people.
No, it's different though. Imagine a team with like a Maritime team with Danilo, and then somebody red cards Danilo. Do you expect a player coming off the bench to be the same player that Danilo is?
No, but you can compensate that with with numbers, and if you drop more numbers, you can make it even harder.
But they were defending in masses, though. They only had Nakajima up front. They didn't have anybody else.
No, you know that's the problem. That's where you see. This is where you're not watching the game. He was attacking with 2 guys, Nakajima and I forget who the other guy was. But every time that they would counter, they would always counter with 2 guys, and it was always 2 versus 2. It was never 2 versus 3. It was never 2 versus 4. It was always 2 versus 2, or sometimes even 2 versus 1. And they wouldn't capitalize on those chances. So Portimonense also dropped the ball on the chances. You can't drop the ball on those chances.
No, exactly. But the pivot point, the crucial moment of the game was minute 78 when Felipe Macedo was shown the second yellow card. And then that totally changed the game. You can't deny that. That's why it changed the whole game.
It was a game changer, but that's on Portimonense. That's on Portimonense, though. That has nothing to do.
It's not on Porto either. It's on Suarez Diaz. He was too aggressive in showing the fucking yellow card. That's it.
Listen.
It was too aggressive. I mean, he has to realize that this is a Taça de Portugal game, and it's Portimonense. It's Porto Portimonense. It's gigante com pequenino. So,
and it's 2-1.
Yeah, he should have given him a little bit of slack, like, be careful, guy. But not be so aggressive. Hey, I'm the referee. I'm the
especially with what Steph's saying. Steph's saying, it was a normal football play. It wasn't even a play where he showed extra aggressiveness. From what I understand,
it was an elbow. It was an elbow, but he didn't break his nose because Danilo was playing afterwards.
But did he break a counterattack though?
It was not a counterattack. It was just a regular play.
All right. Did it break a problem? Let me rephrase the question. Did he break a promising play? Because it could have been a promising play.
Okay.
He broke a promise.
So today, when you saw the Bisquitas Porto, how many times have you seen the same play? And how many times did they show the yellow card?
You'd get hundreds of yellows if they were all called. It's not the same.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's it.
Give him a warning. Move on. Instead,
he already had one.
Happy.
He got a yellow card earlier.
Exactly.
So the second one, you shouldn't show it so in such an aggressive way. If you already know that you've shown the player a yellow card. The
you know
second card.
what Steph's saying makes sense because we get lucky because we're the big teams. Like how many times that Eliseo had already a yellow and the referee goes to him and says calm down. Does the same for
warning,
Fleet, for
yeah.
Coates.
But how many warnings does that guy get? He
William,
gets about
Daniel.
5-6 warnings a game, and he commits fouls that are yellow cards 5-6 times a game. He only sees one yellow card, if that.
How many times does that happen to big teams? How many times does that happen to our players?
Listen,
how many times has somebody gotten away with it?
Exactly. How many times did it happen to Philippe that game and the other game prior to that? And they always give him a break. Or Coates, or Mathieu, or Piccini, or Fabio Cointran, whatever. Why was he so aggressive with Felipe Macedo? One Portimonense was winning 2-1 and gave 7 minutes, and that's when you guys scored the 2 goals that made.
Would we have gone into overtime? Yes, and the answer is: do we went into overtime or extra time? We scored anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I don't think you would have gone to overtime because the tying goal was minute 91. It was already on extra time. The time.
Okay, that's an extra time. So the game's tied. So then he would have to go into overtime, no?
Não, mas o Felipe Macedo foi para a rua aos 78 minutos.
All right, well, hold on, Steph. Bruno, just a question. If it was the other way around, would he have given a second yellow?
No.
You don't know that?
No.
You can't say no.
What do you think?
Do I think? It depends on the foul. If he's going with an elbow, then yeah, he's going to go and he's going to give him a yellow.
It was Maxi Pereira doing an elbow to some guy.
But hold on a second. Is it Maxi Pereira in a blue and white jersey or in a red jersey? Because we got to see the two.
That guy used to get cards all the time for us too. Come on.
Cards where?
Jesus Christ.
Only credit cards. Only credit cards.
Bruno.
Wait, they give out credit cards?
Yeah. I'm gonna ask you the question this way. What about if this game was Porto Benfica and it was Maxi Pereira doing that play, and Maxi Pereira is playing for Porto?
He could have gotten the red, yes.
There it is. Okay.
There it is.
Okay. Tá, pronto. Era só. We can move on now.
All right, let's move on to Besiktas Porto then.
What a terrible game to watch that was.
Just a little bit on it, not too much. I mean, come on. I'm sick of the Porto talk already.
Okay, guys.
I know.
I gotta go. So.
All right. All right.
Are you sure? Because you're ribbing on Bruno pretty well there, boyfriend.
Yeah, it sucks that we're gonna miss out.
I know, but I
need the backup.
I have my sporting podcast in 5 minutes, and then Sam will.
Oh, tá bem.
Yeah, he'll kill me.
Oh, and salty. We don't want to.
I'm not ready to go up against Bruno though. So you gotta come on.
I was able to push back our podcast, the sporting podcast. Usually we do it around 5:30 to 6 o'clock. So now if I tell him I'm going to be late, he's going to kill me.
No, that's all right. Don't worry about it. You go ahead.
Because we never do it on Wednesdays. We did it today because
of the Champions League.
Because we played.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Okay, so
we'll see you next week.
But Bruno will keep you company. Cintia beijinhos, and Pedro give me 5.
High five, bro.
Okay, bye.
All
right, see you. All right, so Besiktas Porto, that game ended on a 1-1 draw. Let me give you the lineup, Bruno. So José Sá was back in goal. Maxi, Felipe Marcano, and Alex Telles across the back. Ricardo Pereira playing as a right midfielder. Herrera, Danilo, and Sérgio Oliveira in the midfield, with Brahimi on the other side of the wings and Abubakar up front. I'm just going to start real quick. I saw some glances of the game. I thought it was a really difficult game for Porto. I mean, at one point, I think in the second half, Besiktas were always in Porto's midfield for about 30 minutes or so. They had a couple of chances, the Quaresma, that shot that Jessá saved really well, the ball by, I can't remember his name, that hit the bar.
Bobble.
Baba, what did you think about the game, man? I thought it was really difficult for Porto, as I expected.
Well, Porto in the first half was a different team than they were in the second half. Let's start with that. First half, it was the typical Porto, high pressure. They moved the ball around a lot. They had a good amount of possession. I wouldn't say they had the majority, but they had a good amount of possession. They broke a lot on counterattacks. But Pep makes a big difference for Besiktas in the back. He does a good job organizing in the back. We scored the goal early on a nice
Set piece.
set piece. It was a very well done and executed set piece. And then after that, Porto had, and then I think Besiktas answered right back. Zesa had a big save, and then after that, Porto had another great chance by Bubakar. If he buries that, makes it 2-0, the game's a completely different game. We would have definitely taken the crowd completely out of the game then. Um, they missed, and then after that, halftime came around, and then Besiktas went for the win. And Besiktas at home is extremely strong. They feed off the crowd. The crowd was intense, very intense. These guys did not stop for 90 minutes. The crowd is, very
Crazy.
impressive.
Oh yeah.
And then, as the crowd chants, the team feeds off that, and they do a heck of a job. Um, you know, getting their, the team just kept on coming and coming. Yeah, there was a time that Porto couldn't even get out of their midfield. They were just booting balls out all the way to as far as they could, and then they were just trying to get they were just trying to get out of their half. Porto had one counterattack in which Ricard Pereira was just one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and instead of hitting it left-footed, he shanked it outside of his foot, and away from the goal. That was probably the biggest chance. I mean, he could have just stopped and picked a corner where he could take a shot, and he would have done terrific. Other than that, I mean, Porto came away with a precious point. They're tied right now with Red Bull Leipzig with 7 points, and they're going into the final match day with everything to play for. But I still think that this team is still a little bit on the limited side, but we'll see.
Why are our teams always so limited in Europe? Like, from what I'm getting, and this is an honest question. We know Benfica struggles. We saw Sporting play, okay, but they only really won against Olympiacos, and we kind of see the same thing with Porto here. Like, why are we struggling so much? Is it because of the opponent, like just the name, so we're not as focused, or
it's a mentality thing. We always have the excuse. Oh, we're tired. Well, we're the only team in Europe that's tired. We're the only country in Europe that's always tired.
Maybe we need a nap, though. Maybe they're onto something. Everybody is tired.
They're tired. Oh, it's too many games. What do you mean too many games? Everybody else plays and nobody complains about it. You know what it is? It's just a mentality thing. I think it's all mental. It has nothing to do with physical capability, because I think the teams are not physically prepared properly for a European season. And I think that's really what it is. I mean, you look at the teams that the good teams that Porto had in Europe. We were always physically fit, and we had very good players, and they were always motivated. I think Porto played a good game. I don't think it was physical fitness that had anything to do with this game. It was more Besiktas is just very strong at home. They're a very good Champions League squad. Let's see what they can do in the round of 16, because everything changes going forward. Once the knockout stages begins, it's a whole different ball game, and Besiktas is not. Let's see how strong they really are when it comes to that time.
Mm-hmm. All right. So anything else you want to say about Porto right now? I don't know who you guys play this weekend, to be honest with you. Basquet, right? No,
we're at Abs.
Basquet is
Abs on Saturday.
I think it's going to be a difficult game. I mean, Abs is a good team. It's one of those. I don't know if it's Benfica D or Benfica Y team or something like that, but
they have some good players. They got Agra.
They have very good players. I mean, you look at their roster; they have a quality squad. Their midfield is very strong and very experienced. They got good attacking players. They don't have the best striker. Defensively, they're not that strong either. I think that Porto has to come away with a 2-0 win this weekend would be very good going into the into the Classic.
Yeah. All right. I think that pretty much. Oh, right. I was going to talk about the Taca draw, but with everything happened. You guys play. Yeah, you guys are gonna play Guimarães. Right? What do you think?
Well, I'm glad that it's home. Number one. Would you have any idea what date that is? Of the game?
No, but I'll
I
check
saw
here and see if I can
December.
find it.
I think it is in December. Well, it depends on when it falls because if it's right before the holiday,
I
then
think
that
it
could.
might
It
be. I
says
think I saw the
12
20th.
12 to be TBD. It
Oh,
says
okay.
12 12 TBD. So on the 12th of December to be decided. So it should be around that time.
Okay,
Mhm.
so there's still some games to play for before the winter break. It's a difficult game. I mean, the one thing that again gets me angry is guys like Oliver Torres, guys like Hernani, those type of guys. They have to take these opportunities in these games and show something, and they're not getting the job done. And against Guimarães, you can't play that. You can't play that way because Guimarães will make you pay. They have a decent team, and one of their goals is to get to win the Taça de Portugal because
The amount of
let's be
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
go ahead. Sorry, no,
No,
you go
I
ahead.
was gonna I was gonna about to say that in all honesty, all the smaller clubs outside of the big three, they should really be putting all their energy in the Taça de Portugal and in the Taça de
Exactly.
Liga because
Mhm.
that's in reality that's the one thing that they can win versus the league. The league is something where they're just competing for the best position possible and hopefully qualify for Europe, and that's pretty much it. Other than that, you're not really going to win much unless you start investing in some better players or really developing some really good players and holding on to them to try to make a run at the title. That's what Braga's trying to do,
Uh-huh.
but it's very hard.
I was just going to say that Guimarães' success in this game depends a lot if they play. Man, I can't remember the guy's name, but the striker with like no hair that came from Moreirense, but he's like one of their.
Rafael Martins.
Yeah, Rafael Martins. It really depends a lot if they play him or not because I think he's a difference maker on that team.
Well,
So
I think that the true playmaker for Guimarães is actually Hurtado, and we saw it when Benfica went to Guimarães, how Guimarães was very limited offensively because that is right now their best player, and by contract he was obligated to leave the team to prepare for the
yeah,
World Cup,
I know.
and they missed out on a major player for their squad.
Yeah, that's true. I just think that their strikers, he's one of the best, so I think he's also a big part of it. That's why I mentioned him.
I agree.
Um,
But Rafael Martinez is a quality player, experienced player, but he should be probably. I don't know if he's good enough. I don't. I think Guimarães deserves a better striker.
yeah, probably. All right, let's move on to Benfica then. This lineup is completely like messed up, and I don't really feel like saying, like completely fucked up names. I don't want to fuck up on the lineup. Anyway, Benfica played a really different lineup against Setúbal. We saw Bruno Varela play, we saw Douglas play, Sokrovinovic, Grimaldo, some other guys getting the opportunity. Even Keaton Parks ended up playing, which I
Yeah.
think you guys should be happy about it, you Americans. Um, so, Cynthia, I don't know. What did you think
Mhm.
about this game against Vitória de Setúbal?
Um, okay, I'm going to touch on a couple of people.
Go
Krovi
ahead.
needs to start more because Krovinovic is just he's a breath of fresh air with our team because yes, he gets shit done. He gets plays in there. He works hard. He's like a miniature workhorse. So I don't want to say that he's my new Renat Sanch, but he's up there. Because we ain't got nobody else. So the situation with Zivko is weird because I don't understand why Zivkovic isn't playing because he shows potential and then he's just not there. So I don't know what's happening with behind the scenes. I don't know, and I don't like it.
hmm
And then yeah, you said Keaton Parks. I thought he had a great debut. Um, I'm impressed with the way he plays, and I'm pleased if he continues because that's another thing. We had Zivko. He doesn't continue to play. Keep playing Keaton Parks. At one point, I was like, Mario, did Jardel bleach his hair because he's tall too? So no, it was Keaton Parks running down the field. But
he seems like a proper player.
Yeah, and he's tall, so like that threw me off too because even Crovey's small. Not that they're small; they're just when you're on the pitch, you look
he's a
tiny, right?
defensive midfielder, so.
Exactly. So it's different. So I liked seeing a big, tall, blonde guy running through the field. Um, and then otherwise, we did win 2-0 against Stubble, so that's yay. It was better
Good
than
goal by
losing.
Servi, by the way. I mean,
Oh yeah,
it's not
fantastic! I was so happy that he scored. He
good set
deserved it.
piece.
I liked it. It
So.
was it was nice to watch.
All right. So, I mean, I agree with you. Basically, I thought Rafa, having a chance to play was good for him too.
Yes, yes.
We played well. I didn't think we played badly. Could have scored more goals. I don't know if Bruno wants to talk about the play. Bruno Varela grabbed
That was
I
a
don't know if
weird
it was João
one.
Moral or whatever. He didn't even need to grab him because the ball was right in front of him and he would have kicked it without Varela holding the guy.
And
Well,
I
I
think
mean,
that's why it wasn't called because there was a guy behind him, right?
well, no, they didn't call it because it's Benfica and they're playing so they lose. That's why they didn't
Ai,
call it.
querido, tem
It's,
que.
it's,
Tem que ser.
he shouldn't
No,
even
tem que
have.
ser assim. É mesmo
That's
assim
true.
because listen. I mean, the bottom line is this: it was a blown call. You have to make that penalty call. You have to make it, and it is crazy that once again I find it a little ironic that Orelhas came onto an interview and
I'm
he
sorry,
asked
who's
for
Orelhas?
your president.
Okay, I wasn't
And
sure if you meant Luizão or him. I'm like, you got to be specific here.
no,
Bro, Aurelius
that's
is Luis Vieira. Come on, everybody knows that.
I don't know that.
well, but at the same time, we also got to remember that he asked for Capella and a couple other referees, and he finally got Capella, and look what he did. He
And the
he did
Capella
some
fucked
damage.
Benfica up. Sorry, but there's
I
two
mean, I'm going to
penalties
argue
in
that because
Benfica's
I
favor
I saw the
that should have been
plays.
called. So,
I
I,
I disagree. I
so
disagree.
listen, you know the play where the Stubble player is not interested in the ball and pushes the Benfica player, as a slight as it might be, he pushes him inside the box, on his back.
You mean when he didn't
Right.
play the ball? Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So if
Well,
that's not a
that's
penalty, okay. But a couple of minutes later, we see a play exactly the same, but it's on Benfica's midfield, on our defense, and he calls that a foul. So my only issue here is referees. You've got to keep up, your
consistency. It's
consistency.
consistency.
So if you call a foul, that's a foul in the midfield. It should be a foul inside the box. Like I don't care if it's a penalty or if it's a free kick. If you call it a foul on any part of you got to call it a foul on any part of the pitch, right? You know what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
So if you wouldn't have called the foul on the Benfica player in our midfield, I would have said okay, so he's just not calling those fouls. But as he did, I have the right to complain that was a blown penalty call, as you said the still one.
I don't. I mean, I saw the play, and I compare it to that Bas Dost against Stubble, and I thought that the penalty against Bas Dost or a
Very
penalty
weak.
on Bas Dost was extremely weak. And again, I'm going back, and I'm going to say the same thing. That was a very weak. If you got a penalty, that would have been very weak.
If
There was
it's
the other one.
yeah,
There
I
was
don't
the other one
know.
with the handball, right? There was some type of handball or something.
Yeah, I was trying to remember what the second one was because I remember
There's the one
complaining
where the
about
guy's
two.
he's sliding to pass the ball, and the guy and the Stubble player also slides, and the ball hits his hand. Well, you hear a lot of Benfiquistas asking for the penalty, but
That's silly. I don't
honestly,
remember that.
where is the guy supposed to put his hand? There's no way
He's
he's trying
supposed
to.
to cut it off and put it in his pocket. Don't you know these things?
Yeah, that's just ridiculous. I don't think that
Uh,
was a
Next time,
penalty either.
I can't remember because of this game. No, I honestly don't. I remember complaining about two, but it could have been just that one. But anyway, if there was a foul on João Moral, which I think was completely unnecessary by Varela, by the way, because Jardel has
Agreed.
more than enough time to get the ball out of.
Well,
Out of
I
harm's
mean,
way.
He just
But
started scrambling.
it is a weird penalty to give away, and it should have been called. But luckily, it was 2-0 anyway, so hopefully that wouldn't have changed too much. But it should have been
but
called. Like I don't disagree with you. I just think it was a stupid ass decision by Varela to grab the player when he didn't even have to. So,
well, I
I
mean,
do agree with you.
I think that again, Stuble's one of these teams that midfield forward, they have some players. Defensively, they lack a lot of quality, and you see it. I mean, you lose your top two center backs from last year. You don't you really didn't replace them with anybody of that much quality or equivalent quality, so you're going to start struggling. And again, this I think this weekend you guys should take care of business and beat them up pretty good. I don't think that Stuval has a. I don't think they have a defense to
No,
keep up with
I do.
Benfica.
I do really, really love João Amaraldo. He's a very good player, man.
Well,
But
they found
what
them
he
in the third
does with it,
division.
I know Torres Vedras. I think so. It's
Hey,
surprising, man.
sorry, it's my hometown. I was born
I
there.
know. I think it's Torres Vedras. I think if I'm not mistaken.
I hope so. Gonna get his
Yeah.
jersey.
Um, it's just one of those. It's one of those. It's just one of those players where he does so much on a small team. You kind of wish you would see him around better players. But before we move on to the CSKA Moscow game, I do have to ask you, Bruno, because you probably, I don't know if you saw, but did you pay any attention to Podstowski? He was pegged to be one of Porto's next products. He was captain for so many years, and then he never got a chance with the A squad, and now he's gone to Stubble, and I don't think he's impressed anyone.
Well, I mean, I'm a guy that I was a big fan of Podstowski coming through. Um, yes, he, through his youth, he was always one of the top midfielders. But let's also not forget that he suffered a major knee injury that stopped him for a year and a half, and he's only starting to play. He only started to play half a season last year. This is his first full season, and hopefully he comes back to what he used to be, at least at the junior levels, because the kid was a quality player. I mean, left-footed center defensive mid. He's more of a modern center defensive mid. He's a guy that likes to start up uh, play from the back
Mm-hmm.
going forward. He's very good at that. He has great vision. He has good, short passing. But Podstowski needs to, regain the form that he once was. We never know. We don't know if he will or not, because for a professional player staying out of the game at a high level for a year and a half at a young age, it could really backfire and
It could be
and
detrimental. Yeah.
yeah, of course,
Yeah,
for your
no,
development. So
yeah,
uh, I like him, but I think right now being at Stouffville and Porto only having 50% of his rights is more than enough for me. I think we have to wait and see what he does after this.
mm-hmm. All right. That was it. Benfica is going to play, like I've said in the beginning of the podcast, if you still remember, they're going to play away against Rio Ave at Vila do Conde. They probably have the most difficult matchup out of the big three. But it's
Crimea
gonna
River,
be
Peter. Jeez.
what it is the most difficult game out of the big three, though. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying. Stating facts. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is, though. Let's move on to the game. To this game against CSKA Moscow. If I swear, it is what it is. You guys gotta get
Language,
used to
Peter
it.
Pan. Language.
I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth. I'm
Oh,
just
I do.
saying. Anyway, so let's get on to this CSKA Moscow game. Benfica lost 2-0. Thank God there's only one more game of Champions League for me to watch. So I cannot be bothered with these games. Anyway, Bruno Varela was in goal. André Almeida, Luizão Jardel, and Eliseu across the back. So Grimaldo's made of glass. We figured that out already. Felipe Augusto, Feza, and Pizzi in the midfield. Salvio, Jonas, and Diogo Gonçalves were the three men up front. Jesus Christ, I don't know where to start. This game,
Well,
it
that's
was
one way to start. Jeez.
it was just one of the worst games I saw this season out
I
of
think we would
anyone.
describe it as a shit show.
That was
I believe that's the
disgusting.
word.
Oh my God, that was terrible. And Benfica started off kind of strongish, and then CSKA started to put up the foot on the gas. They get that offside goal, which is clearly offside, but I'm not going to say that's the reason why we lost. I mean, come on, I'm not an idiot, but that was a really bad call, especially to a linesman who had a near perfect game to and he missed a crucial call like that. But it is what
Mhm.
it is. It happens. It's football. These mistakes are going to happen. Um, but then, surprisingly, after the goal, Benfica actually started to push forward again. They had that opportunity with Jonas that he shanks the shot, but after that, there's nothing. Like this team just doesn't create anything. They're just not playing football. Obviously, the 2-0 scoreline is ridiculous, by the way, because Jardel won goal. This game should have ended 0-0 because no team created chances to score. Like there were no clear cut chances. I mean, this is ridiculous. And I'm sick and tired of listening to people say, "Oh, you lost Nelson Smith, you lost Mitroglou, you lost Ederson." That's not an excuse because this team has quality. I don't know how many times I said this on the podcast, but these are good players. You have good players in your squad, and stop blaming the strikers too. The thing that pisses me off the most is hearing everybody thrash Seferovic because Mitroglou had 52 goals. All right, Mitroglou had 52 goals. And I love Mitroglou. I'm a huge fan of him. I have his jersey. But look at the players that were servicing him and are now trying to serve Jonas and Seferovic and Raul. Pizzi isn't playing nowhere near close to his level last
Mhm.
year. Salvio was already a weird player last year that a lot of people didn't like, but he's performing, basically at the same level, not too good. Rafa has been non-existent. Servi hasn't been super on for assists. Zivkovic has barely played. Now, how do you want these guys to start scoring goals when they're not even given the opportunity to get the goals? Everybody just likes to talk, superficially. They just think of the of what, like you lost this player, lost this player, lost this player. That's why you're not playing well. No, that's bullshit because this team, first of all, if you have a good coach, you're able to surpass those players leaving, and you look at the bench and you look at the starting 11 and you see some quality there, but the players just don't play well. There's no type of movement whatsoever, and I kind of liked when Pedro Henrique was talking about Felipe Augusto, and he actually did say something smart where the Sport TV guy was saying that almost no Benfica fan likes Felipe Augusto. And Pedro said that Felipe Augusto isn't a difference maker. He's a good player. He's just not a difference maker. And I totally agree with him. Like you cannot think of this guy. Oh, he's terrible. No, he's not terrible. He's just not the guy that you need to play that position, especially when Pizzi isn't performing nowhere near his level, right? So you basically have two Pizzis on the field. Uh, this
That's one too
game,
many busies.
one too many pieces. This game was just frustrating. Salvio cutting inside, shooting with his left foot when he's not even left-footed. The team out of ideas. The offside goal, the own goal. It was just it
It was
pisses
a
me
shit show.
off. It
Yeah.
pisses me off. You know why? Because I don't think we're gonna win against Porto, and even if we lose, I know that we're gonna come out of the Dragão happy with our performance. And so I don't understand how we can have good games against Man United, and we're probably gonna have good games against Porto. We're gonna have good games against Sporting, but against CSKA Moscow and Basel, we are teams that we can beat, and we are very superior to them. We just don't put the performances in. Like this needs to change. It's the mentality bullshit that Steph was talking in the beginning.
Hmm.
This is just outrageous. Like these guys need to be able to beat every single one of these teams that you're better. Like you can have off days. Nobody's going to disagree with that. But the
This
performances
isn't
like
an off day. This
this,
is an off season. Like, come on.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's I mean, I do hope that we beat Porto, and I'm like the happiest guy in the world. But I'm telling you right now, if we beat Porto, I'm coming on the podcast and I'm thrashing this team for not playing like that every single game. because you can have off days, but you to play as bad as you did, and people were talking on Twitter, and I wasn't a lot on Twitter, but I did see some things where people are saying it's not even the result, it's the way that we play, and that's true
Yeah.
because we had 5 games in the Champions League, only 2 of them were good games.
We
One of
have
them we
0
got,
points.
I know, one of them
We've
we
done
got
nothing.
robbed, but eh, other than that, that first game against CSKA where we should have won, the 2 games against United are always a coin toss, right? Because you played well, but you just didn't get lucky. Uh, but you had other games where you should have won and you didn't. And these performances, these last lackluster performances, are just ridiculous. And stop coming with the bullshit of Champions League level or whatever, because this team is good. These players are good. They're not as good as last year's. I mean, nobody's going to compare André Almeida to Nelson Semedo, but you can't tell me that this team can't rebound from losing. And Lindelof isn't a huge loss, to be honest with you. I don't think it was a massive loss, but this team can rebound from losing Nelson Semedo, Ederson, and Mitroglou. And if they can't, then there's something wrong, not only with the players but with the manager as well. Because I'm starting to think that this is more of a coaching matter than anything else.
A few guys have been saying that the whole season.
No, it's just ridiculous to me, like how Salvio, and I like Salvio. He pisses me off, but I like him, as a player. But stats don't lie. And for example, when you have a player, I don't know the stats, I'm gonna make something up. Okay, so like
Okay.
when Salvio loses the ball, like 70% of the times he touches it, and Zivkovic loses it 25% of the times he touches it. Why is Salvio playing over Zivkovic? Why is he not even getting called up to the games? Right? These are the kind of things that pisses the fans off, because everybody can see, but we see the same thing over and over and over again. And Filipe Augusto playing, I love Filipe Augusto. I just don't think that you need him on a 3-man midfield when Pizzi isn't working. So why not play João Carvalho? Why not play Krian? Especially because we got guys, and I look at our midfield and I think they're young, they're going to be good, but they're not even playing. So, like, if the game's already lost, why don't you put in Krian? Why don't you put in João Carvalho? Why don't you give these guys the minute they need to develop, right? I mean, this just pisses me off.
And I've already mentioned that I don't like the late substitutions, and he did it today. We're like, what, 83rd minute? Wow, thank you for 7 minutes. This is going to be a huge difference
He
maker.
did it with Zivkovic, yeah.
Come on. And like I've said, I don't know what it is with Zivko. He's not playing nearly enough because, like you've said, our guys are not playing. So then change up the lineup. Why not? Move them around. Like, I don't like comparing him to JJ, but that's one thing JJ did. We would hear like, oh, this guy's whatever position he is, and JJ would be like, no, I'm going to play you here. And then the dude would flourish. You know what I mean? Fucking move them around
just like,
sometimes.
where's Gabby go? I mean, I know people make fun of that guy, but
Well,
every
now they're
time I
calling
saw him
I
play,
think Gabby troll.
but every time I saw him play, every time I saw him get on the field, I saw an effort level that I don't see from others. So why is this guy not playing? Why is he not getting minutes over some of these guys? These are just some of the things where it just pisses me off. And next week we're gonna win and everything's gonna be okay. But it's not actually going to be okay.
No, but is it?
Because
Like,
this
no.
team isn't going to gel. This team. I wish I had every single score line for Benfica games, but I swear that 99.9% of the Benfica wins are 1-0 wins or 2-1 wins. And this team isn't scoring goals, and this team is conceding a lot of goals. It's just ridiculous. Last year, almost everybody could score. This year, nobody but Jonas can score. And that's due to the service. That's due to Pizzi playing. Why is Pizzi on the field? Like, some of these... it irks me. It irks me bad.
No, it's making all of us upset. And actually, I was watching Steve's tweeting during the game, I think, to be honest, and then after the game, and he's been saying it on the other pod too. We've had problems, but the issue is last year we were winning, and so when you're winning, you're not going to say anything. But we could already see that these problems were happening. And then the transfers in the summer happened. Fine, move on. But the problems are still there. Those underlying problems. And now they're completely no longer underlying. Now they're in your face. And now everyone's upset because now we're not winning as much as we were, right? Like last year we were still in the CL. And I don't
Right.
think that
It
we
was.
were ahead in the Liga, but we were still up there. So I mean, Liga, I don't want to compare it yet because I think we're actually doing better. I think we were worse last year,
I think we can
but
still win the league. That's not
oh,
out
definitely
of
no.
reach. But
I keep tweeting at Steph, "Hey, we're still getting that penta. You can have the Christmas trophy. We're taking the penta."
yeah, everything can happen. It's still on time, which is. What I'm more upset about is that I don't think we needed to get out of the Champions League this early, and I don't think we needed to get out with 3 points because I do believe that we're going to beat Basel. Because if we don't beat Basel, then it's just a total embarrassment. But this team deserved. We deserved better, and these players deserved better too because they're better players. So
Yeah.
you gotta fault them a bit, and you gotta fault the coach too because there's some coaching issues here. I don't
Peter,
know, Bruno.
I hate to break it to you. You're not going to be Basel.
Why
Oh
not?
no, I want
I,
us out of there so fast. I'm like, can we just give in like a card and be like, our condolences, we're not coming back.
I actually predicted this on on a Three Tugas podcast that Benfica was going to get at the most 1 to 2 points in this group,
Oh, that's
and
so outrageous.
but what that's the reality of it.
I know, but that's outrageous to think before the.
Well, no, because I really thought that outside of Portugal, you guys are very weak. And I said the same thing. You got to look at what I said about Porto. I didn't think that. I said the only team out of the big three that could have qualified outside of the group was probably Sporting. I even said Porto for this group, they didn't have the team for this group. They were a little bit limited.
And they got
And
lucky with that Monaco are such in bad shape.
well, they're building a whole new team, so they're going through a lot of growing pains together. Their team's not gelling. Some guys are not performing well, etc. But that's just the reality of it. Um, you know, Leipzig is a very good team, at least offensively. They're very good. Besiktas is very strong at home, and you know what? They got a couple of results on the road, and all of a sudden you're qualified with 1 game to play. Porto, I thought, has a pretty good team. Sergio Conceição is getting the most out of his players, but at the same time, you got to hope that they can last the whole season playing at that intensity level.
Yeah, you
So,
can only get so much.
you can only get so much, and we'll see what Sergio Conceição can do. Or is he going to get some players in the transfer window when it reopens? They're talking about calling some guys back, and I would agree with calling some of the guys back. So, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't think that Porto should buy anybody. That's the one thing I don't think is we should purchase anybody. If we bring players back, cool. I'm all right with it, but that's about it.
All right, so I was just going to ask you, and let me just check on the time real quick. Okay, so real quick, in about 3 minutes or so I can close out the podcast after that.
Yeah, because I really got to go. I have to get to work.
Epa,
Again.
outra vez.
Okay, can I just ask you a real quick question?
Yeah.
Can I? Or okay, so real quick. What do you make of Benfica's issue? Is it really the players, or is it now just really the coaching staff isn't also helping the players suppress their low ability or less than required ability? I can't find the right word.
I think it's pretty simple, Peter. It's lack of quality. You guys don't have the quality this season. You look at that back line. Look at your starting back line from the season. Andre Almeida, right back. This guy was your backup for most of these last couple of years. You have the aging ET. You have Jardel that is in and out of the lineup because of injury. You have a guy that was playing behind them, Ruben Diaz, that he just came from the B team this season. He's still only starting to develop now, like starting to grow as a player. You have Eliseu as a left back, and we all know that Eliseu is very limited. You have Grimaldo with a ton of injury problems. And is there anybody else that you guys play at left back that I can't think of?
No, we don't play anybody else.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that's your problem right there. Then you come with the whole Fesa thing. Face's in and out of the lineup. Inconsistency once again. You got a lot of issues there. I mean, and then offensively, yeah, you got a lot of players. The one thing that I always said, and I go back to my Three Tugas podcast, I said it. The one thing I was so thankful for was that Porto never got Gabigol because he is a cancer in the locker room. He makes
Yeah.
too many demands. He makes a lot of demands. I mean, his agent makes a lot of demands. His agent, the way he structures his contracts is X amount of games played, X amount of goals scored, X amount of assists. He gets a commission, and he always wants his player to play, obviously, because that's how he's going to make his money. But you see what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
think you guys have a lot of issues. And then you guys got like Rafa that didn't produce. You have Jimenez that cost you a lot of money. He's not even a starter. You got a lot of issues.
All right. All right. I'm just a little bit more optimistic, but I get your
I know. I feel
more
like you just
neutral
kicked the
point
dog. Stop it.
No, it's
Well, I mean,
okay.
it's
He's got some good points, but there's also some other things that we can do that will make us
I know.
surpass our issues. You know.
There's the other one is Peasy. Peasy is in terrible form. I think that the whole non-transfer to Monaco probably affected his confidence because I think he was looking forward to going because that was probably his last payday. It didn't happen. Listen, it is what it is.
Right, that actually is a good point. That reminds me of the Enzo Perez issue before he went to Valencia, where he had a very bad 6 months before he
Mhm.
got shipped out to Valencia. All right, thank you, Bruno. I won't hold you in any longer. I also got to get to sleep real soon. Anyway, that was a long podcast. It was a really fun one once again. Thank you for coming on,
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Steph. If you're listening to us, thank you too. Thank you, Cynthia.
You're
We'll be
welcome.
back next week
Yes,
on
we
Wednesday,
will.
where we're going to be talking the Porto, no, Aves Porto,
The Avs Sport.
Passos,
Passos and
Sporting.
Sporting.
Sporting, and
Tubal
Even
and
if you could
Benfica.
use Tuval.
yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. We'll be back for episode number 75 next week.
Thank
Ciao.
you guys for having me.
No problem.
All
Have
right,
a good
guys.
night, everybody.
You have a happy Thanksgiving. I know you guys don't celebrate it, but happy
Happy
Thanksgiving to you and
Thanksgiving
our
to you
It
too.
listeners.
passed already. Happy Thanksgiving, buddy.
All right, man.
Happy Thanksgiving to you.
All right, guys.
Okay, bye, everybody.
All right, bye bye.
All right. See you.